So now, before we jump into the part design, I wanted to make a great lesson, the most important lesson in all CATIA. If you know this all, I can guarantee you, you will be, the design will be stuck in your head, and you will be designer on your own without needing any softwares. There is three things you must master at CATIA, and you must learn it fully to be a better designer. And these three commands is in many environments. We have these three commands in part design, in GSD, and in many other environments, and in many other softwares. We have these three in SolidWorks similarly, and Inventor actually. So what is this three, and why are they really important? Because they are three essential key of every design: point, line, and plane. From 2 points we have a line, and from 3 points which are not in a line we can have a plane. So to start with, we can select a point, and there are a few different ways to have a point. For example, the first one is coordination, and you can specify in Cartesian system where do you want to place your point. The first one, I want to place my point as 0, 0, 0. I want to place another point at 0, 0 and 100. So I have 2 points which I can make a line here. I can make a line and select it to be point to point, select the first point and the second point. We have a line that connects these 2 points together. If I have another point which is not in this line, for example, the 0, let's make a 0 for Z and make 100 for Y, we can have a plane for these 3 points. If I change this point, I can change my plane. You can see that when I change this point, orientation of my plane is changed at the moment. You can see these 3 points have this plane. So this is the simplest meaning of point and plane and line. So what else? What else can we do about that? We can choose to have a point on a curve. Curve could be anything, could be a line also. A line, I want this line to be in middle point of it. Or specified it as a ray shape, and if I want it to be in quarter of it, I can specify it 0.25, and I have this point at quarter of it. I can specify it to have 10 millimeter distance from that point. I can reverse it, make it distance on curve, and specify it as 10. So I have this point at 10. Another thing in curves, in building and making points, is on a plane. I can specify this plane and also specify the reference of it as this, and I can specify that in this plane as the x-axis in this way and y-axis in this way. I want it to be 100 and 100. it has 100 in edge area and Y area, which is located in this plane. What else can I do? I can specify it on a surface. Surface is pretty much like a plane, but surface is something a little more intense. Let me make a simple surface here so I can show you what it means by surface. So make a simple surface. I draw this and I go to geometric shape design and I make a surface. Let's make it big. Huh? I can You can see that I have point, line and plane in generative shape design too. I can have a point on a surface too. The surface is here and I can specify where I want to put my point. But wherever I choose, it is on this surface. It is located right here. I can change its color here. You can see it. Another feature is circle, sphere, ellipse. If um, if I have a half circle here or a circle here and I want to specify the center point of it, I can choose the circle sphere and select that, and now I have the point as reference as center of that circle or sphere. Another thing is tangent on curve. We can select this and we can select that I want this and direction of maybe z-axis. We have these 2 points. When we have 2 points, this window will come and it asks you which one do you want. Do you want both of them? If you want both of them, you can select this. If you select this, it will choose by nearest or farthest of them. And if you choose this one, it will be extracted, which is much better option. I can choose either left one or right one here, and I select OK. I have one of them, which is this curve heading tangent to a z-axis, which is locating this way, will remain this point here. Another one is between. I want a point between this point and this point. Redshift, we can specify a redshift here, redshift of 1 or redshift should be 0.5. We have a point here. So that is pretty much it with points. Let's go to line. Line, we have point, which I described before. And we have point direction, which we can choose that this point in direction of x and with the length of 100. We can also have point angle normal to curve. We can specify that our curve is this, our point is this, and our plane, we can change our plane to xy. And now we can specify an angle to our curve. We can make it 90 degree. Another one is tangent to a curve. We can choose that, tangent to this curve, and this curve is almost not possible. We can choose it to be tangent to this curve and this one. That is a pretty harsh one. It's not needed now. Normal to surface, we can choose this one and this point. We have a normal to surface point now, line now. Another one is bisecting. It's going to bisect these two lines, which is the degree between these two and these two is equal. And we have planes also. We can make a plane offset from one plane. I can offset it from this plane to whatever. I can make a plane parallel through points, like reference. I want this plane to be here in this direction in this point. I can specify another one, angle normal to plane. I can make a plane with this axis. I want to rotate this plane. I can rotate it. I can make it 45 degree. Here it is. Another one is I've said already before through 3 points, through two lines. I can specify these two lines and make a plane through point and line. Maybe this line and this point. Through planar curve. Maybe I can specify this curve, and this should be our plane here. Normal to curve. This is really useful feature. We can specify a plane normal to this curve in, like this point. Tangent to surface. We can specify this surface, and in this point we have a plane tangent to this surface. Equation is needed an equation for it, and mean through points. It's going to be through some points. You can specify many points, and it can give you a mean plane through some points. And I think that is conclude our tutorial about point, line and plane. Please like us, subscribe us, and make a comment for us.